All right, everybody. Dad, you're out of camera. You haven't seen. We are in Studio B. Or hold on, let me mute this here. So we're in Studio like C or G or whatever. So just to let everybody know, power and internet went out of my house today around 2:30, and we have nothing. So I had no time to prep. I do have this is the original overlay from the Brownie post-game show. You are looking at that right now. I'm here with my dad. I'm at their house today because I have no way to watch the game, so I'm happy to be here.
Go Brownie.
And we are joined, as always, by Wednesday show co-host, Bonzo1273 on Twitter, Mike Ristano.
Hey.
Mike, I know we just spent some time yesterday in deep thought and detail about this game today, but anything has changed on your end or anything new that we should be talking about here just prior to kickoff?
Well, first and foremost, deep thoughts eventually turn into deep fall, right? So, but we're not there yet. But you gave me an opportunity in opening how to do it. But OBJ is active, so it's the first time that him and Landry have been on the field together at the same time. We'll see how long he can go.
Okay.
I think that's going to be amazing. It really is the word for Case Keenum to have a full complement out there. And then you've got Jed starting at left tackle. Mind you, he hasn't completed a full game yet. Hopefully he's healed enough that tonight's the night. As we talked about last night, we were looking to see Hance moved over to the right side to bump Hudson out of there. That is the case. Hance starts on the right side. He's done a great job on the left side. So Will's back, Hance on the other side. I think Keenum gets the protection. Ernest Johnson, he's there for a reason. I think that he could probably start on a handful of other teams. And I feel confident. Losing Jock still doesn't sit right with me because you lose all that team speed. But I mean, I think this game comes down to the defense. They got to dig down. Joe Woods has to dig down. They need to figure it out because I think this offense does score points on this lowly defense. And it's just a matter of what defense shows up tonight.
Yeah, it's funny. Like the first time we get to see Jarvis and OBJ, is this the first time we get to see them together on the field at the same time this year?
Yeah, it's been
I think it is, and we get Keenum to throw to him. But I mean, here's the reality. I think we can all agree that at whatever 60%, 65, 70% that we're getting out of Baker, that is probably Keenum level, right? So if he can manage the game well and not make mistakes, not turn the ball over, not try to force it, I think we could be okay. I mean, I don't think Denver's elite by any means, but they're also not. They're not going to be a pushover. They're a completely mediocre team. And mediocre teams, any given Sunday, right now, since we don't have our full complement of starters, we're essentially a mediocre team as we've seen the last couple weeks. Injuries, guys playing hurt, guys trying to tough it out, not being 100%. We're a mediocre team right now. So, I mean, I don't know. Dad, what about you? What are your thoughts?
Well, this is one of those games that's just like a survivor game. We got to survive this one. We got to find a way to win this game. The talking heads today on TV were, like you guys already said, they were zeroing in on the defense. If the defense does not play well, if they do not step up, if Joe Woods does not have a plan to attack this offense of Denver and their quarterback, whoever it might be, and I don't know if Bridgewater is starting or not. But then we're not going to do well because we're not going to put up 40 points unless we get super lucky.
Yeah.
The other thought was they had talked about and put up stats and comments on TV that Keenum and Stefanski have had a pretty good history when he has been in under Stefanski, maybe as the offensive coordinator. Their record is outstanding in terms of wins, playoff wins, etc. So Stefanski knows what Keenum can do, not just because he saw him, in practice and whatever, these as a backup, but he's got a long history with him. So he knows what he can do. And as long as he doesn't ask him to do too much, and I don't expect the ball to go down the field. I expect, little dinks over the middle, little slants, out patterns, screen plays, and hopefully, the running game opens up so that it makes him even more effective. But I don't see him taking 10-step drops and trying to throw it, 40 yards down the field, because he'll get attacked just like Baker was attacked. And Baker's out. Mullins is the backup, and that's a crapshoot right there. If Keenum goes down, and it only takes one play to go down, so roll him out, get him out of the pocket, make the short throws, 3-step drops, and the defense plays well. We get a couple of turnovers, and hopefully we win the game.
A couple quick shout outs from everybody in chat. Steve Z, Ray, love them cookies, the truth. Jonathan Schlegel, Esquire, Mick the Dog, Max Nikolenko, Mike R.
Who's that?
I don't know. Steve Z, I don't know if I said your name yet. Gary Washington, Mr. Roll Up 10, Mick the Dog, Mids Plug, Ryan Burlow. What's going on, guys? Help us out. Hit that like button, por favor. Get us trending or whatnot, whatever. Hit the algorithm. Get that like button going. Continue to chat. I don't have the ability. I am looking at chat, guys, so I see it. DF Sports, what's going on? Sarah's in the house. Hopefully, 17 squabbles there as well.
Better be.
I can see the chat, so just so you know, I have it up. Unfortunately, we can't bring it up on the screen because I didn't have enough setup time, but would love to know what you guys saw. I think a lot of people, other than maybe like Max and Gary, and there's a couple people that have probably seen this initial overlay back from 2019. But anybody else, like this is retro Brownie post game. So we started from the bottom and now we're here, as they say, right? The game's kicking off here in about an hour. We're going to bring you up probably as pretty close to game time as we can. I know we're going to have a lot more people kind of trickling in as we go. This is going to be, I was just on Twitter today and listening to seeing the chat and everybody's talking about stuff. It's like, you got the Colin Cowherds of the world that are saying, throw Baker out, get rid of him. You got other people, other calmer heads that are out there saying, look, we got half the damn team that's injured, including himself. And, where I stand and what I've stood all along, like, I think he's the best option that we have. And until somebody can present me with a better option than Baker Mayfield, he's the guy we have. And if you take him to the end of that 5th year and at the end of that 5th year we reassess, then that's what we do. But at this point, there is not a better option that's either in free agency or just available in general. We have our backup quarterback that, Mike, you pointed out. He's making $6 million a year.
Yeah, there's not a team, I think, or maybe one or maybe two that have a backup quarterback as good as Case Keenum is with the experience, etc. So a lot of teams would love to have him, maybe even as their starter, because they're struggling. So I feel good about his chances tonight. It'll be interesting to see whether he can do it. We've seen other quarterbacks. What's his name? The Smith from Seattle came out the other night. He didn't play good in the second game, but the first game, right off the bench, he played when Russell Wilson got hurt. He played great. Zach Prescott played great in his first game against Tampa, and he didn't play a down in the preseason. So these quarterbacks, especially seasoned like Case Keenum is, it's almost like riding a bicycle. Obviously, you have nerves the first snap or two, and the crowd noise and everything. But once you get that first hit, or once you make that first completion, I think he'll settle down. He'll be fine.
Yeah, I mean, it's not like Case Keenum hasn't played at all. I mean, we basically gave him all of preseason, so he's done that. He's been taking second team reps all year for the last couple years, and he's been taking first team reps all week, right? So the good news is we're not starting a guy who's going to have butterflies and who's going to be a deer in headlights. We're not going to see that.
Right.
It's
happy feet dancing in pounding the ball, trying to figure out where to throw it.
Right, exactly. So, I mean, that's the good news is we have a capable backup quarterback. Now he's got to can he go from guy who would come in if Baker got hurt in the middle of the game to guy who's prepped all week and should be as sharp as we're going to get him.
Plus, you have Stefanski making a game plan.
Yeah.
From Sunday on, probably as soon as Baker got hurt, and it was very iffy to come back by Thursday. I'm sure he was burning the midnight oil, coming up with plays that would be very effective for Case Keenum versus a game plan for a limited Baker Mayfield.
Yeah, absolutely.
I agree. And Dan, you have me singing "How Can We Sleep While the Beds Are Burning" right now after the midnight oil. But I digress. I think Case Keenum's fine. I mean, we forget sometimes he took the Vikings to the playoffs and he won a playoff game against New Orleans. So I think Case Keenum's fine. I think, I mean, talk about a situation that sort of came together for him. And what I mean by that is, we all had a feeling, and Dan, you called it on Sunday, that we'd see Keenum today, and we are. But at the same time, if we all looked at each other and said, who is he going to have back there with him? I mean, it was looking like the cupboard was going to be bare. And now all of a sudden, he starts tonight and he's got Jed back. He's got Hans on the other side who will hold it down. He's got Jarvis back. He's got OBJ is going to go, and he looked good in warm-ups. I was just watching him a little bit earlier. And then on top of that, a little birdie messaged me earlier with a statistic. The Broncos are 23 of 77 on third down attempts. That's a 30% conversion rate, and it's the worst in the NFL.
Well, they got to be licking their chops that they're playing us today with our god awful third down conversion stopping rate.
Yeah, let's hope that changes today.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, this is going to be, how funny it would be. The truth just said, watch OBJ explode tonight. Here's the funny thing. People have said, hey, Baker and OBJ, when OBJ got hurt last year, the Browns offense exploded and started taking off. What happens if OBJ just absolutely lights it up, goes for 2 or 3 touchdowns, and, he has the game of his life, and then everybody will be saying, like, you see, we don't need him. We don't need Baker ever. OBJ's there. We got him.
We should pray.
Yeah.
Right.
And I don't like to pray on football things, but we should pray that is what happens. Because if it does, then that means the $6 million man, i.e. Case Keenum, kept our hopes alive, right? We're 4-3 if he pulls this off, and off we go. I mean, these are
what
5.
the weather is like? I heard that there was a good chance of rain.
I think I looked at the weather. It was a bit windy. It was showing, but as far as the rain, I think the rain's out of there until after the game. Okay. So at least we have that going. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, Mike, I think you made a good point. I mean, if Case Keenum does his job and we get through this game, I really don't think it's going to come down to the offense. I think it's more going to be about, can the defense step up and not give up 40 points?
Right.
Yeah.
If we give up more than 20 points to the Broncos, you go back and look at the Broncos, they're not scoring a lot of points at all, right? They don't have a lot of weapons on offense. So if this defense is incapable of stopping this Teddy Bridge, Teddy is banged up as well. So
absolutely.
And he's not the most fleet of foot quarterback out there anyway. So if we can get to him, that's gonna spell trouble
today on TV too.
It's a foot issue, right?
Yeah, he has a foot issue that might put him on the bench. He might play, but he's certainly not going to be very mobile. He'll stay in the pocket. He probably won't run. and it'll be up to our defense to stop their run, because I think that's what they want to do. They want to run the ball. And if we do and put them in those third down situations, which they can't complete, and get our defense off the field and put our offense back on there with more opportunities, then I think we stand a very good chance of winning this game with the hometown crowd and everybody knowing that this is a game that we have to have.
We do play well on Thursday night.
We do.
We do. Monday night, Sunday night, not so much, but Thursday night, we do okay. So I'm sure Cleveland's going to be rocking. Are you having any regrets right now? Are you feeling like I really wish I was there, or are you sound with your choice to sit this one out, Mike?
I was a little sad for a minute, and then I dropped big money on the Rock Hall induction tickets last night, so it offsets. So instead of the one night a hotel, that's the wild thing too. It's like the place that we were staying 2 nights next week is $422, and one night last night, for tonight, if I was going to be there, is $380. So they're not very kind to one night stays.
Wow.
Yeah.
So so I'm all right with it. Move the airfare to the December game. Going to see Sir Paul induct the Foo Fighters next Saturday night, and then Halloween game on Sunday with you guys. So
if we win tonight, that makes that game even bigger and better. And maybe Baker comes back, maybe he doesn't, but Keenum will have one game under his belt. And the Steelers are certainly beatable, but they're playing better than they were, through the preseason, and they've got some running game back, and Roethlisberger's throwing dink passes for a lot of yards. I mean, they catch and they run, they catch and they run. So he's building up yardage, and his completion rate, and he's not getting sacked because he's getting rid of the ball relatively early. So that will be an even better game if we win tonight.
Yeah, absolutely. Like this, kind of as we talked about yesterday on the Wednesday show, this is a must-win for us.
Oh yeah.
If we cannot make this happen, I know we don't have the way this team was built was around the running backs and big sets, right? So we still have all of our tight ends. We still have we have our 2 most dangerous wide receiver weapons that are going to be out there, and the emergence, honestly, of DPJ that you add to that trio now.
Right.
I think there's going to be a point. I really think there's going to be a point in history where we're going to look back and go, how incredibly lucky we were. We didn't even realize that we had DPJ, OBJ, and Jarvis on the field at the same time with Kareem Hunt, when healthy, and Nick Chubb. Like that is, there's just so much talent that's out there. It's scary, right? Speaking of talent that's out there, we're getting Jed back on the left side, and Blake Hance is moving to the right side.
Yeah. So if the offensive line does their job, I mean, you open up a hole. Johnson is very capable.
Yeah, Johnson can hit it.
We've seen him in the past. This is the first time he's going to be given the ball and be the man with some backup. Even Kelly, coming off of the practice squad, he showed glimpses of being able to run the ball very well when they had him in there in the preseason. So these are guys that are capable, and I hope they step up. But if the offensive line does their job, you open up a hole. Hey, maybe I could run through one of those holes,
Hey, this is a good time to give a shout out to dogwoofs.com. I don't know if a lot of people caught that. That John Schlegel has kind of developed a kind of a promo site for us, dogwoofs.com. And I'm sure when he gets back here and chat in a second, he'll put out the URL. But the winner's going to get, at the end of the season, whoever gets the most points is going to get a $200 gift card to like Omaha Steaks or something like that. That's going to be the final gift for that. So everybody, make sure that you go to dogwoofs.com and get signed up. And all you have to do every time you come into the stream, just collect your points, and then there's some prop bets that you can make. So the over under, how many yards this guy's going to do, how many points, that kind of stuff, and you get points. There we go, dogwoofs.com. You get points along the season, and then at the end, we're going to have a leaderboard, and whoever wins that is going to get a nice little gift card from John Schlegel, who is a big friend of the show. So make sure you head over to dogmoves.com, check that out. Also, I will say this: if we win tonight, since we didn't give a Victory Monday mug away on yesterday, we might be able to do a post-game show Victory Monday mug that we give away that actually even might get to the people by Monday, since it's Thursday night.
Victory Friday mug?
Be a Victory Friday mug, and if it goes to somebody in Cleveland, they can always stop by Cleveland Clothing Co. and I mean they can get it that way. But if it needs to be shipped, I mean, there's who knows. But
let me ask you this, Dan. You just brought up an interesting point. I was thinking about this. So there's no doubt in my mind that we win tonight. So then that brings me to my next point. So tomorrow is Friday, and I always have my mug, and I change it to Victory Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Until I got a little mini
mug.
Then I got little mini
over the Monday. That's all.
Yeah, and then I got little mini Mike mugs. So now this is my Victory Monday, or my Victory Tuesday rather, through the way. But anyway, with that being said, do I wait till Monday after the full slate is over to hang my Victory Monday flag and let it wave outside for my neighbors?
No, tomorrow.
Or does that happen tomorrow throughout the weekend? What do you guys think?
Throughout the weekend, you have to.
All right, throughout the weekend.
Yeah, throughout the weekend, you're in Ravens territory.
And
They need to
Steeler
know.
territory,
They need to
both.
know that we won on Thursday night. Let's not
All
get
right,
ahead of
so-
ourselves, though, guys.
Right.
No, but
That's
so
one thing.
we get that W.
You're
Friday,
basically guaranteeing a win here, Mike.
Sunday. You know what? I got to tell you, and I don't do well with guarantees, but if they don't win this game, then I mean, sure, it's a long season or whatever, but then all of a sudden, then the doubt creeps in, and it would behoove them and us for them to win tonight, 4-3. Got the Steelers coming in, and we take care of business. But yeah, so you know what? The hell with it. I guarantee we win tonight.
All
You
right.
heard it.
You and Joe Namath. All right, good.
Yeah.
The other thing is, I was thinking
Tweet
about,
that out. I'll retweet it. We got to make it official now.
Yeah.
All right.
Was thinking that I hope Stefanski, and maybe he will because of the circumstances and the fact that Case Keenum is in there, he takes the points. If we get to the 5-yard line and it's 4th and 5, kick the field goal. Take the points.
We don't always have to kick just 57-yard field goals
Right.
to get points.
Just make them score points. If you score and can get up 2 scores, a touchdown and a field goal, then you can feel a little bit more comfortable. Maybe you press a little bit more on defense, but field goals win games, whether they're in the first quarter or they're in the last quarter, and they also hurt not taking points off the board that you wish you had later on because you missed an extra point or you had a doink or whatever. So I hope he not so much learned his lesson, but his track record on fourth downs is not very good, especially in the red zone. So I hope he learns from that and we move on.
Yeah, statistically, I mean, there were people pointing out just how many that we missed, how many points we left on the board. And that's the thing. Like, you can't look at a football game and go, well, if we would have just kicked that field goal, we would have won the game, because, obviously situations change then for the other team and how we play and everything like that. So you can't just count it like that, but you can look at it and say, situationally, to put points on the board, like they always seem to come back to haunt us. Whether it's an extra point or a field goal that we miss or a field goal that we just don't take, those are big things. And I think the other thing, too, that probably scared Stefanski as he was taking a little bit of heat for not making those 4th downs and leaving points out there, then you saw the Bills game, the Monday night game, where they literally lost, where they could have taken it into overtime. They could have opted to do that, and they decided to go for it, and they had a disaster, and they lost a football game because of that they could have easily won or had a much better chance, the other way. Now, again, we're playing Monday morning quarterback, or Tuesday, whatever, because it's a Monday game. And what if Josh Allen gets that and he goes in and scores and they win the game, then okay, well, then they do that. But it didn't work out like that.
I see Jonathan Schlegel disagrees with me and says that we should be more aggressive. I assume that means on the fourth down calls in the red zone. It's not the first time that John and I have disagreed, especially playing poker together one famous night. Which he came out on top.
Was John a little bit more aggressive that night, would you say?
He was too aggressive. He made what I would call a dumb move, but it worked out for him, and he won money, and I tip my hat to him. And he lauds that over me every time he can.
We literally played in a poker tournament at my bachelor party weekend in Vegas, and John. We were all playing together as a team. We're like, okay, let's not knock each other out if we get put in the same table. So no sooner than they get put at the same table, John just like, my dad bets and John goes like all in. And my dad's like, what are you doing? Like, you screwed everybody over. And I think John ended up winning that tournament.
Well, luckily I lost to him, and I don't know if he sucked. I think he sucked out either a straight or a flush on the last card.
I'm sure John knows the whole thing.
And all my chips went to him. So if I was going to lose all my chips, it was good. And the last thing I said to him, as I was somewhat upset leaving the table, because I consider myself a pretty good player, and had I gotten all those chips, I think I could have survived too. But I told him, you better win. You better get to that final table. You better bring back some money. That's all.
Hey, we got a super chat that came in from Max Nikolenko. Sorry, Max, I don't have the alert box popping up, so. Again, Studio B, technical difficulties. Max Nikolenko says, there is a reason why kickers get paid. They can win you games by putting up points. And I agree with you, Max. And our kicker, if we had the guy from the Chargers who's missing every other extra point, something like that, I'd be like, okay. But we don't. We've got a kicker who's making his kicks, and he's making his kicks from distance and everything. Like, I'm not concerned about him at this point. He's proven to me that he can do it.
Yeah, put the pressure on the kid. Let him kick,
Yeah.
Till he shows us he can't do it.
Exactly.
I think we're frozen.
Oh, no.
Are we frozen?
I am skipping frames every once in a while. Yeah, it keeps lagging.
Freezing.
Well,